guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. This week I wanted to chat with you a little bit about the Mustang that you might notice is not sitting behind me. The R8 is still here, hasn't gone anywhere. Some of you guys that follow me on social media, I posted a picture of the R8 on the back of a flatbed truck, car mover. And apparently I wasn't real clear. That was an April Fool's joke. The car is still here. I was at a car show over the weekend and I had 3 or 4 different people come up to me and say, hey, why'd you sell that R8? I didn't. It's still here. The car show was a classic car show, so the Mustang was down there. But I still was getting questions about the R8, which was pretty funny. The reason that I wanted to talk about the Mustang is because, as you can see, it's not here. It is off at the body shop. It is getting that fiberglass fastback roof installed, being all fitted, cut, trimmed, painted, finished. Everything is going to be great. So I dropped that off a couple days ago. I did ask for him to send me pictures of the progress as we go. I haven't gotten anything yet, but that doesn't mean he's not working on it. It just means he hasn't taken any pictures to send me yet. So I'm patiently waiting. We will keep you posted. Hopefully next week, the video is about that car and the new roof and everything. So I'm really antsy for that. I'm anxious, excited, all those things. I'll keep you posted. So anyway, but what you might notice is over my shoulder is a loose cable. You guys see this right here? Yeah, I'm gonna flip the camera around and I'm gonna show you what happened. As you can see, the lift is non-operable right now. You'll see this corner, tension is tight. This corner, not so tight. It's loose, it's sitting clear flat on the ground. The back end, you can see it's kind of crooked, cockeyed a little bit. That's because of the weight of this corner isn't being lifted when I put the platform up. And yeah, it's a problem, not a good one. The craziest part of this whole thing is that the Mustang was on this rack as I was lifting it and this corner let go. So as you can imagine, that was really frightening, having, an almost 4,000 pound car, about a 4,000 pound car up on that lift. It didn't fall, but I definitely could feel the tension snap while I was pressing the button to raise the ramps. And then I continued to raise for a second longer. The other 3 kept climbing. And then this corner over here just didn't want to climb. And I could just see that corner of the car was sagging a bit. I'm going to insert a couple of still images right here so that you guys can see the problem. Basically, what you were just looking at is the mounting point for the 4 corners. They all kind of collect there at the end of that hydraulic cylinder, which is what pulls the cables tight. It lifts the ramps. It then lowers the ramps if I relieve the pressure, et cetera, et cetera. Well, there's kind of a 4-hole, you again saw this in this picture, but basically there's 4 holes and each of the cables goes through. And there's a big block on the end of each cable. Well, then there's a protective plate that goes on there that kind of helps hold those. Well, as you can see in that second picture, it got bent back and one of the 4 cables came flying through. And actually the second one is really close to doing the same. So what I need to do is fix this pretty quickly. I need to get the ramp lifted up so I can get underneath there. Obviously relieve all the pressure. Don't want any tension on those cables. I can then back the big nut off that hydraulic cylinder, pull that protective plate off, hopefully flip it over or hammer it flat and then flip it over so that I can reuse it. If not, it's not the end of the world. I can just go down to a steel company here in town, have a new one cut. Not a big deal, but I don't know why that thing broke. There really shouldn't have been too much pressure on it. I mean, I've been using this lift for over a year now and never ever had a problem. And so I'm not exactly sure why all of a sudden that decided to fail. But as you can imagine, with a car on the lift, it was extremely frightening. I had my mechanic Vern over here. We were actually trying to adjust the transmission a little bit so that I could drive it down to the car show. And yeah, we were putting the car back up in the air to get underneath of it. And yeah, that's when this all happened. So Wasn't great news. The car was fine. I was able to relieve all the tension and get the whole, ramp all the way back down on the ground. Was able to drive the Mustang on and off of it just fine. Everything is just fine. The only issue is I can't put it up in the air right now with the car on it. So that is why you saw the R8 sitting in the garage next to where I normally park it under the Mustang. Not the end of the world, not a big deal, but that's the deal. So when the Mustang comes back, hopefully I have this ramp fixed and at least somewhat operable. My wife's been parking outside, which fortunately the weather's getting better, so it's not as big of a deal. But still, I promised her that that would not be happening. I would let her continue to park in the garage. And I even told her I'd let her park in and I'd pull my R8 out. And she wasn't good with that. So she just said, no, it's fine. We'll just deal with it. So I want to do right by her and get the lift fixed ASAP. But yeah, it just kind of is what it is. It just goes to show that these things are not totally bulletproof. These kind of things happen and you just got to be safe and smart about it. Because someone could have really gotten hurt. I could have really damaged the car. I mean, obviously you never want to lift up or down with somebody underneath the car. And this is a great example of why. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. The thing could have fallen completely to the ground and that would have been bad. So that's okay. Nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. We're okay. We're all fine. Nobody was injured or anything like that at all. But, my point is, it just is a good reminder that things could have always been worse and to really just be safe and smart about operating this thing. So I'll give you guys an update on that too as it comes together, but I don't think it's going to be rocket science to fix. I think it's just getting it up in the air. Like I said, reflattening that thing out, maybe making sure there's no twists or binds in those steel cables, because that's how this thing operates. It's a hydraulic pump with an arm that, either pulls tension or releases tension, and that's what causes the tracks to go up and down. And I don't know if something got twisted or bound up, or maybe one of the cables fell off the pulley that's kind of like the guide. How that would happen, I don't know, but something obviously happened. I just don't know what yet. Hopefully I can figure that out when I get under there. But I wanted to share that with you guys because, again, just a good reminder. It could have always been worse. Somebody could have got hurt or killed. The car could have fallen or been totaled. And really none of that happened. It was perfectly fine. What I am going to do is walk you over here though and kind of show you the way these operate. So bear with me here. If you come down to the bottom, we've got this track. I mean, this is kind of the track, and then this is the steel cable. You can see there's not a lot of tension on there right now. That's by design, but you can also see that it is up in the air. There's some space between the floor and the actual arm. So if I come around and flip the camera around, this is what you see. So, basically the car would drive up this ramp, get on there, yada, yada, yada. And then there are these blocks, this thing right here. And what that does, there's a tension bar. Let me see if I can point to it where you can see it. Well, it's kind of right behind this towel on the back side of the ramp, but you can maybe sort of see the handle sticking up there. Basically what you do is you pull that handle down and these blocks, this rod gets pulled, the block falls down. And that's what allows you to lower the track. Now, the reason that block is there is because of these. So these are safety markers or blocks, and they go all the way up. And the idea there is once you get the car to the height that you want it, you let go of that lever, those blocks kick back out, and they catch on one of these. And that's the safety mechanism that holds the car in place and keeps it from falling when there's weight on the ramps. And all four corners have those kind of teeth, as you can see. Yeah, pretty cool. It's actually a really slick design. There's no teeth right in here. So there's the ground level, and then the first one's about 12 inches up, and then the next one's maybe another 16 inches up, and then they're like every 4 inches all the way, something like that. And so you can adjust the height of the car. Now, if I come around to where the pump is, and I'll show you that handle here. So this is the handle, and it operates this whole lever mechanism. And like I said, if you pull it, you can kind of see that block, this thing right here, you can see it move with the lever. Yep. So that's what controls those blocks, and those are kind of the safety mechanism that keeps the whole thing from falling out of the sky. Now, I can't remember where I was going with that, but that is kind of the quick design, is all four corners have that. When the car was on the ramp and that corner started to fail, the car was actually, I want to say, kind of right below this first tooth where they start being every 4 inches. It was between this low block and the next block. And really I wanted to get it all the way up here. So I've got this marker right here, this black line. That's how high, or this is the tooth or the block that I have the Mustang rest on, because then it doesn't hit my ceiling and it gives me enough space that I can lift it up off those teeth, then pull my lever to allow the car to fall all the way down. So it works really, really well. I've got it pretty dialed in, but of course, this corner decided to act up, which just is super frustrating. So that's really all I had for you this week. I just wanted to kind of fill you guys in with, kind of the latest of what's going on here in the garage. Again, the car is out of the garage. It's out getting painted. That hardtop fastback roof will be getting installed and fitted and all that stuff. This week, I should hopefully have it back really in just a few days. He told me maybe 1 week, and I did drop it off 2 days ago. So hopefully I have that thing back pretty quickly, and then we'll kind of play it by ear and see how things go. But in the meantime, yeah, I really do want to get this lift fixed and figured out. And that's kind of how I'm going to spend my upcoming weekend, I think, is trying to get to the bottom of adjustments and getting it all repaired and fixed so that I can get Mustang back up there when it's back home, and then move the Audi back underneath. And so we'll figure it out, but I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hanging in there and paying attention to my crazy adventures. Anytime you have questions or concerns, by all means, please, please, please comment down below. Shoot me an email. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Of course, subscribe here on YouTube. And don't forget about the merch. May every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.